Hi, welcome to our ninth grade course selection presentation. Welcome back, Happy New Year. We hope you're off to a great start for second semester. I'm Sylvia Lamb, guidance counselor for last name M through SHA.
Clay Stiver, guidance counselor for students with last names SHE through Z.
Jessica Kasha, guidance counselor, students who have last names GOV through L.
Monique Ballantyne, also a guidance counselor, students with the last name A through GOU.
So today we're really bummed that we're not able to do this presentation in person with you all. However, we have a pretty detailed presentation here, and hopefully while you're reviewing it, you're jotting down your notes. And what we'll do is we will have a follow-up Q&A webinar, and that will be hosted January 26th with the students at 9:15 to 9:45, and we will also host a parent webinar that evening, January 26th from 5 to 6 p.m. And that's where you can bring all your questions and ask us, and we'll help you clarify and kind of talk about next year's schedules and so forth.
All right, so our agenda today, we just introduced ourselves, our four guidance counselors here. We're gonna talk a little bit about the graduation and college requirements to show that to you all again. Talk about the course selection process and timeline, since things do look a lot different this year compared to last year when you selected courses. Things to think about for 10th grade, you guys are currently 9th graders now, rising 10th graders, and then we'll end with some next steps.
All right, guidance teams, hopefully you know who your guidance counselor is. You may or may not know who your assistant principal is. If your last name is A through GOU, Miss Ballantyne is your counselor and Mr. Martinez is your assistant principal. If you have last names GOV through L, me, Jessica Kasha, I am your guidance counselor and Mr. Flores is your assistant principal. If you have last names M through SHA, Miss Lamb is your guidance counselor and Miss Chen is your assistant principal. And if you have your last name SHE through Z, Mr. Stiver is your guidance counselor and Mr. White is your assistant principal. You can reach out to us, you can reach out to your assistant principals if you need anything, and we're happy to help.
So when you're selecting your courses and deciding what you want to do, we really hope that you have a balance. As you can see from these, circles, academics, daily living, extracurricular, they're all the same size because they're all important. And so it's good to make sure that they're balanced. You don't want your extracurriculars to overload you so that you're not doing, the daily living things, hanging out with your family, eating, sleeping right. The same goes for your academics. So from this presentation, we hope that you understand your courses, you choose wisely, and use this to make informed decisions about your schedule and your life as a whole, not just school, but your daily living, and making sure that you do fun things as well.
Okay, so this is a 4-year timeline. So what we do is we have, if you look at every grade level, there really is a theme for each grade level. So currently as a freshman, you're really just kind of getting to know yourself and adjusting to high school. We commend you all for starting off high school, through remote learning, something that's been very different for all of us and sometimes, could be challenging. So we love that you guys are sticking it through, and we appreciate your resiliency. So this year, you're really focusing on transition and looking at, identifying your learning style and your study strategies, techniques. And in a couple of weeks, all of the guidance counselors will be in the freshman lit classes, and we'll be doing our 9th grade guidance unit, which will cover Naviance, and we'll talk about a learning styles inventory and a 4-year plan. So this is all going to come together for you. This is really also your time to develop your self-advocacy and your independence. In middle school, there's no office hours, there's no particular going to teachers at a certain time. And so now these are all new things in high school that you're figuring out and you're navigating. And so this is definitely a good start for you. And so sophomore year, this is what we would like you to shift to, is your exploration. Really looking at trying new things, new activities, new clubs. And some of you guys are even doing that now, even during remote learning. And that's amazing. We definitely want you to continue to do those things. Look at what your interests are and, find out what those passions are, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to load up on 10 million different things. It really is just oh, what's DECA about, right? I want to know more about that. Or what do they do in art club, right? So you want to know more. So really just kind of, testing the waters and seeing, what interests you versus what doesn't. And if it doesn't, at least hey, I tried that and it's not something I really want to do. So really 10th grade, the focus should be to continue to explore, find your interest, and we'll also continue with using Naviance to really explore, colleges and look at majors and different careers and so forth.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the high school requirements. So on this slide, you can see the subjects are in that left-hand column there, English, science, math, etc. In the middle, we have the graduation requirements. So that's to graduate high school. A one-year course is worth 10 credits. So each semester of a course is 5 and then another 5. So for the full year, you get 10 credits. I'm not going to go through every single subject. Obviously, the credits are up there. This is a slide you will become very familiar with by the end of your high school career. So you don't have to know it by heart by now. A couple things just to kind of keep note of when it comes to something like PE. You're all in PE 9 right now. PE is a class you could take next year in 10th grade, or you could possibly take in 11th or 12th grade. These credits are just the credits you need to have by the end of your senior year. Okay, and then some students will get a PE credit by playing sports, things like that. Electives, you need 70 elective credits in addition to 2 out of the 3 categories. So there are 3 elective categories: applied academics, fine arts, and world language. You need at least 2 of the 3 categories. Okay, many students will do world language and fine art because that's also what you need for college eligibility, which you see there on the right-hand side, the UC-CSU eligibility. So really the big takeaway from this slide is you need 220 total credits to graduate from high school. And again, this is not something you have to memorize right now. We're going to show it to you every single year, probably multiple times every single year. We as your guidance counselors actually review your transcript every single year in the spring. So we are constantly checking your transcript. I believe we do it a total of 4 or 5 times throughout your career because we do it twice in your senior year. So we really make sure to notify you if you are off track, whether it's off track for high school graduation or if you happen to be off track for UC-CSU college eligibility. We will notify you. We will let you know how to possibly repair grades if you are off track, or what classes you need to take if you are off track. So obviously it's good to kind of be responsible and take a look at your transcript and your progress yourself, but just know that you also have your guidance counselor who is also helping you with that as well. And if you ever have questions about, you're not sure if you're eligible, or you're not sure if you are on track, or you messed something up or whatever, you can always contact us, and we are more than happy to do a review with you and double check everything to make sure you're on track for either high school graduation or for college eligibility. And this slide is also available on the Monte Vista website on our guidance page, so feel free to check that out as well. It's always there at your fingertips.
Okay, so last year coming in as a freshman, you didn't have a lot of choices that you could make. Obviously, we picked your English and your science and your PE class for you. This year, starting off your sophomore year, you're going to have a lot more options for your courses. You'll have more English classes, options, history, etc. We want to make sure that you're choosing the courses that are right for you, not what your sibling took, not what your friends are taking, not what your parent or family members think that you should take, but really thinking thoughtfully about what makes the most sense for you. Matching your interests and your classes. So if you love art, taking an art class, and maybe you love the humanities. So I'm going to take an art class. I'm going to continue with my language because that's something I'm really passionate about. Maybe you are interested in STEM things and you're going to take math and science, but you're also thinking about taking Introduction to Engineering or some other class that lines up with where your interests are. So really think about what you like to do. And if you are thinking about taking a higher level course, you will have the option to take more honors classes. Maybe taking that in the subject area that you are interested in or that you excel in, because it will be more challenging than regular college prep high school courses. Informed decision making, this is the biggest one that you will hear from us, assistant principals, teachers, everybody. Really thinking about what I just said, where your areas of interest, challenging yourself in those areas, not taking too much on. Reach out to us if you have questions. Talk to your teachers. Your teachers have been with you at this point for an entire semester. They've seen your work, they've seen your study habits, they've seen how you've been doing in your homework, how you've been doing in class participation, exams, all of that stuff. So they can see where your skills are, maybe where you're struggling, where you are doing well. And if you were thinking about classes for the following year, they are good people to run those ideas by. Maybe you're thinking about taking a higher level in a certain subject area and you're not sure. Talk to the teacher that you have in that subject this year and say, maybe I'm thinking about taking an honors level math or an honors level science or something next year. What do you think? Does this make sense for me? Do you think that I would be successful in it? So really talk to your teachers about specific courses, because they know the content. They work with all of their departments, so they know what you will be getting into next year. Ask us questions. We'd love to answer questions about, like, does this look like a balanced schedule? I think thinking about challenging myself here. I'm kind of thinking about trying to get 7 classes. Should I stick to 6? This is what I'm doing outside of school as well. It's not just about your academics. It's really about maintaining balance and thinking about all of those pieces and how they fit together. So we want you to be successful. We want you to do well, not just academically, but emotionally next year. So we really want to make sure that you are thinking about everything. We are very confident that we will be in person next year, which means that there will be a lot more opportunities than there were this year. Hopefully athletics are back in full swing. Clubs will be meeting. Things will be going on during the school day after school. So there will be a lot more opportunities for you to get involved. And we know that it might be enticing to sign up for everything because you missed out and you're missing that experience this year, but really be thoughtful about the classes you want to sign up for and everything else you might be choosing to do.
So after you have, major informed decisions, you need to actually go through with the process of signing up for classes. So this year, by the end of January, you should receive a K-12 form, which will be your online course registration form. There will be a handout with a list of all the courses, as well as a how-to video for Infinite Campus. For all of you lovely students, Infinite Campus will be something in addition that you'll need to do. So that means that means that you'll need to do the K-12 form as well as sign into Infinite Campus. If you don't know your Infinite Campus account, please do let your counselor know, and then we can point you in the right direction.
All right, so this is the timeline for our course selection process. So our Infinite Campus portal will open February 8th. So you have all through February 8th to March 5th to talk to your family, talk to your teachers, make good informed decisions, and then submit your course selection form by the 5th of March. K-12 course request forms are also due March 5th. And then after that, we'll have a course verification window. So basically between March 22nd to March 26th, the portal will be open again. You'll go in there, you'll look at your schedule, you'll make sure everything is correct. And if it is, you're good. If you need to make some adjustments, if something is incorrect on there, then you'll make the corrections and then you'll let the office staff know. Final course verification will be in early June, and tentative schedules will be sent home in early August. Running of the bowls will be August 9th, and that is when, kind of like your last opportunity to say, oh, I decided I don't want to take this elective anymore, I want to drop it, and also to see if there are any available classes still open. You pick up your schedules on the first day of school, which will be August 16th.
Okay. As an incoming 10th grader, you have a lot more options. Obviously, for 9th grade, you had 3 classes that were pre-selected for you with literature, PE, and science. So now you get more options. So in terms of your English and social science, you have basically a choice between world literature and world history, which are two separate classes, which Ms. Kasha will talk about in the next slide, or a combined class of world studies, which is your world literature and your world history classes combined. And again, Ms. Kasha will get more into that, but you have those two choices for your English and social science. And then with science, you really have 4 options, which is pretty awesome. So either chemistry, chemistry honors, or physics, or even AP Physics 1. And Ms. Ballantyne will go over the specifics of those courses as well. A lot more options, which again means just making informed decisions, making sure you're talking with teachers, talking with family members, older siblings, counselors, to just make sure you get all the information you need to make the right selection for you.
All right, so talking about English and history classes for next year, you will have 2 choices to make. You will either choose to take world literature and world history, or you will choose world studies. World literature and world history are normal classes the way an English and history class is. They're separate classes, separate grades. Obviously an English class, history class, normal, what you're used to. World studies is different. It is a combined English and history class. It is consecutive periods. So you would have the English class, say maybe first period, and the history class second period. So you would have English and history back to back every day. On block days, that could mean that you have 3 hours of English and history together, because consecutive periods, depending on how it all works, I don't know. Bell's schedule for this year was different. So it's 60 students. So it is a combined class. So you're in the English class, you're in the history class, but you're working together. So it is obviously a larger class. The teachers are working together, they're team teaching. So the English and the history teacher are both there together. It focuses more on collaboration and group work. So we really want you to think about what makes the most sense for you. If you enjoy the traditional classroom environment where you have 30 students in a class, 1 English teacher, you're doing English work, that's it, you're done. You take history another part of the day, you go into your history class, different students, history, etc. Cool. If you like, and it's obviously 30 students, it's more independent work, like a normal traditional class setup. With the studies, obviously, there's 60 students and 2 teachers. It's going to be louder. There's going to be a lot more group work. Maybe you like that. Maybe you like bouncing ideas and working together in a group. Great. But you need to be careful, because I know that for me in high school, I was very social, maybe detrimentally so. I would have loved to sign up for world studies, because I would have been like rallying all my friends to take it. We can do group work. We can talk and hang out the whole time. And I would have thought that was fun, but that would not have been the best environment for me for an English and history class, because I would have gotten distracted and off topic, and it would have been easier for me to not pay attention. So really think about maybe what doesn't sound more fun, but sounds like the best environment for you to be successful next year. Because, obviously we want you to do well. We want you to be successful academically. If your intent is to go to a 4-year college, you want to make sure that you are being successful in your classes. So set yourself up for where you will be more successful, and think about which classroom environment will make the most sense for you.
Okay, so here are your science options. So you have chemistry or chem honors. Chem honors is going to be an introductory class, less math intensive. You need to pass algebra 1 or higher. Chem honors, more math intensive. We hope that you pass geometry or higher, and it will be a rigorous, fast-paced course. We also have physics and AP Physics 1. So physics, introduction to physics, you're going to pass geometry or higher. It's a college prep level class, whereas AP Physics 1 is a college level course. And with that, it's going to come with the homework load of a college level class. So it is going to be probably twice as much as like a physics course. For that AP Physics 1 class, you want to pass Algebra 2 or higher. With all these courses, we hope that you talk to your teachers and you work to make informed decisions, because this is a class that you need for high school graduation and for college eligibility. Now, my friends, I am not a science expert, but I'm going to explain it in a way where I hope that we can all universally understand it. So your chemistry and your physics, right? If you're going to in and out, it's just like a single patty. Chemistry honors, AP Physics 1 is going to be like your double double. And you have to think of what are the other things in your life. Like you got to have the fries, right? And that's kind of like your daily life and living. Like you literally have to have those things to go and complement the meal. But then you have to think like, you know, what else is going on in your life? Maybe your life is like animal style and it's got a whole bunch of other stuff because you have like activities and family stuff. And then you have to think like, dang, do I want a milkshake? And sometimes that's just too much stuff. You have to think about your meal and your life as a whole and make sure it's balanced. So at the end of the day, you're not like, oh man, I'm so full, I can't do anything else. Because that's never a fun feeling when it comes to food or your schedule.
I just want to add on that you are welcome to take whatever class that you feel like makes the most sense for you. But AP Physics 1 is a college level physics course. If you do not have any physics experience and you are going into this college level course, it is going to be way harder than you expected. Far and away, the students who struggle the most in AP Physics 1 are sophomores. It is a challenging course. We know it might be tempting to take because, oh, it's an AP course I can take as a sophomore. Be very careful, because if you do not do well and you earn a D or an F in AP Physics 1, it is almost impossible to find that class outside of Monte Vista to retake to fix your grade. And if you get a D or an F, that is not college eligible for you. So be very thoughtful about which science class you want to sign up for, because science as a whole is hard to find outside of a high school.
I loved your analogy, Miss Valentine. It was really good because I love food too.
Thank you. I hope I didn't make anybody hungry. And, you know, I know we don't all go to In-N-Out, but, you know, think of your food equivalent.
Our family does go to In-N-Out, and my daughter loves In-N-Out, so that's a perfect analogy. All right, so moving on to the Monte Vista Math Pathways. I know you are all familiar with this pyramid right here, so I will just recap. Now, if you look at the very top, if you start out, actually before we do that, if you remember the slide on the requirements, now in order to graduate, you need 2 math classes. You need the Algebra 1 and Geometry, right? Now, to be 4-year eligible, you need your Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2, okay? So anything above that is extra, is cake, okay? So if you start out with Algebra 1 as a freshman, so sophomore year, you have Geometry. Junior year, you can choose Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 Trig. And senior year, you can choose any in the category of, it could be advanced applications of math, or it could be pre-calc, or it could be honors. Will you have enough math to graduate? Yes. Will you have enough math to meet college eligibility? Yes. All right. So depending on where you are at right now, you are all in different math levels, right? So you're going to look at the math level that you are in right now, and then you're gonna, you know, see what is really the best option for you for the following year. And so that's where, you know, you talk to your teachers, like Miss Kasha was saying earlier, you know, they've had you all semester and they're gonna have you all year. So they definitely know your skill level, they know where you're at, you know, so definitely hear, you know, their recommendations, and, you know, and also think about what you have on your plate. You know, just like the analogy Miss Valentine was talking about, you know, all the other stuff that you have on your plate, all your other classes, striking balance, extracurricular activities, you know, you have to make sure that you have balance in your schedule, okay? So you're all at different points right now in terms of math. You're gonna choose the one that's most appropriate for you.
I am very hungry right now, Ms. Valentine. I just want you to know that. Elective options. So we've covered kind of the core courses, the lit, the history, the science, the math. Got a lot of elective options at Monte Vista. Put a bunch of them up here. Obviously, this is not a completely exhaustive list. Fine arts, we have art. We have a new class, 3D sculpture and design. This was like previously our ceramics class. Just kind of a different title, very similar to what it was before. We have music, choir programs, and we have drama. if you'll remember from the slide, in order to be college eligible, you do need at least 1 year of a visual and performing arts class. And majority of our fine arts classes at Monte Vista do satisfy that category. You'll notice on that slide, we have a course offering sheet. Ms. Ballantyne said in that process that will get sent out to you. If for some reason you don't have it, email us, we'll give it to you. It's also available on the Monte Vista website. That's where you can find a complete list of course offerings, which does include all the electives. But just want to let you all know about the fine arts because that is a requirement in order to be college eligible. Applied academics, we have a bunch of options: business, computer science, woodshop, engineering, journalism, STEM, world language. This is a requirement to be college eligible. You do need to get through level 2. Some of you might be in a level 2 class right now, like maybe you're in Spanish 2 already. As long as you complete the course with C's or higher, you've technically met that requirement. Some of you may even be in a higher level than Spanish 2. Maybe you're in Chinese 3 or even Chinese 4 honors. So it's really about getting through level 2 of a language, and that meets the eligibility requirements. General electives, we have TA. You can start doing TA next year. Student tutor. Some students even do bilingual tutor. They speak 2 languages to help out some of the world language classes, help out those teachers. Lab assistant for a science class, media assistant for the library, obviously yearbook, leadership, and AVID as well. AVID also counts in the general elective category. PE classes, you have your choices. A lot of students in 10th grade choose to continue with PE. I took PE every year in high school. I loved PE. So we have racket sports, weight training, dance, and basketball as your options for PE. And again, you need 20 PE credits in order to graduate from Monte Vista. I would say probably all of you are going to get at least 10 PE credits from PE 9 this year. And then it's your choice of when you want to complete it. Again, I'm a big proponent of exercise. I think you should take PE every year just because it's really good for you. But those are those options for PE. You got quite a variety of options. So again, the course offerings sheet, which will be sent to you, has a list of everything. And if you don't have that, check them on the Vista website. And if you still can't find it, please let us know because we want to make sure you know all the options that are out there.
I will add one more thing that normally we don't offer, but we have started as of this year. You are eligible to be an AVID tutor as a rising sophomore. So we're going to get out a lot more information about the AVID program and what we need for tutors. But you would basically have the opportunity to work with an AVID class, mentor students, tutor with them, kind of become part of that AVID classroom family. So we'll get more information to you guys about that as well. All right, selecting courses. You guys know that you are guaranteed 6 courses through the district, that we do have a 7-period day. You are able to request an optional 7th. That doesn't mean that you will receive it. It will be given to students on an availability basis if it fits into your schedule once we've given you all your top 6 courses and if there is space in the class. I know that this year we were not able to give a lot of students 7 courses, so times are changing. If you play a sport or you want a free 7th, maybe you have a job or you're doing something else where you want the end of your day free, you can still request a free 7th or a free 1st, but that, if you really want it, you would need to put it in your top 6 choices. Again, your 7th choice is not guaranteed, and you are not allowed to take 2 classes within the same curricular department. No 2 English classes, art classes, science classes, history classes, etc.
Okay, so we're giving you a whole bunch of information, and along with that, we want to continue to support you with your course selection journey. So here are the ways that you can get more information. So the MVHS website, especially if you go under guidance and student support, there's a whole bunch of information there around course selection. We do have a parent Q&A webinar, which will be on January 26th from 5 to 6 for students during the day. On that same day, January 26th, we have a Q&A webinar from 9:15 to 9:45. Elective night, also a webinar. There's a theme here. Will be February 2nd from 5 to 6. For students that are English language learners, we have ELD course selection webinar February 9th from 5 to 6, and then the student course information fair will be February 10th during advisory.
And all of the information that Ms. Valentine highlighted is on our Monta Vista website. So if you go to the Monta Vista website under the pop-up, you'll be able to see all that information. And if you follow us on the Monta Vista Guidance Instagram, we have that information on there as well too. Okay, so striking balance. It's really important that this time of the year, as you're choosing your classes, that you're looking at all of your options and you're looking at all the classes that you have on your plate, as well as your time commitment to your activities, right? Things that we really want you to have a conversation at home with your parents about are, we kind of put it into 3 buckets. One is your daily living, right? So how many hours of sleep are you getting? How much family time you're getting? How much friend time, etc. And then your workload expectation, right? So your homework, and that's where the balance is. Like how many classes that are you taking that are, maybe some could be more rigorous than others, and how are you balancing out that load, right? And then your extracurriculars. Do you have 1 or 2 extracurriculars, or do you have 3 or 4 extracurriculars, and you have, some of these advanced classes, and you have to do all these other things. So we really want you to have those conversations at home with your parents, and to understand that we don't want you to be stretched thin, right? College admissions are not asking that you do 10 million different things. They're really asking that you find 1 or 2 things that you're really interested in, and you pursue those activities over a long period of time. So I think that's key, and that's really important, right? So look at, you want to make sure you're still able to have enough sleep, 8 hours plus. You want to be able to sit down and have a good meal with your family at dinner, and be able to have those conversations and have time for those things, and have time, for your friends as well too. And then in terms of the academic piece, you want to make sure that, you're doing your classes well. So it's not about quantity, it's really about quality work, okay? And as well as the extracurricular activities. So keep all of those things in mind as you are going through course selection in the next month. And we want you to make good, sound decisions. And if you're not sure, again, ask us, come talk to us, set up an appointment. We do everything through, we're still available to meet on Zoom. And we can go over all of that with you.
Campus life. Well, you're not on campus, so campus life looks a little bit different for this year, but we are so hoping and praying next year we get to see you in person. I think it's looking good. So things are going to be a lot different next year. It's almost going to be like a freshman year all over again in a way, because you'll get to actually come to Monta Vista this time. We are a comprehensive high school, so it is the time to explore your interests, learn new things, have fun, try new things. Especially since you may not have had the opportunities because of, the remote learning. It's going to be like a whole new world next year. Now, again, also want to caution you, I think Ms. Valentine said it great. It doesn't mean go do everything because you couldn't get to do it before, but we definitely want you to try new things. We have all kinds of clubs, leadership program. We have a great music department in theater, spirit, whether it's cheer team, dance team, there's marching band, things like that. Color guard, and we have all kinds of athletics. Athletics, again, I don't even think they've started yet for this year. So we're really hoping that comes back next year as well. So there's going to be a lot of changes. And again, it's just, we really want you to explore and try these new things, but also, make sure you have balance. I mean, Ms. Lamb just said it in the previous slide, really making sure you're striking a balance. But we have a lot to offer. We want you to get involved. We want you to meet new people. Especially for you as 9th graders incoming 10th, haven't necessarily had that chance yet in high school. So we really want you to get out there and get involved.
Okay, so in working for long time with students at Monta Vista, these are kind of the things that we feel like should be a priority for you guys going into your sophomore year. Obviously, we've talked a lot about balance. Things have changed from years past. So making sure that you're really being thoughtful about what you're going to do for next year. really thinking thoughtfully about you, where your interests are, where your strengths and weaknesses are, and choosing the courses that make the most sense for you. Explore your areas of interest. It's okay to try something and find out that maybe you don't like it. You know, join a club, try an activity. Maybe you try out for a sport and you are terrible at it. I am very clumsy and I was not a sports person in high school, but I loved art. So I did all the photography club stuff. So don't be scared to try new things, to put yourself out there, to fail and look like a fool. It's a great time. It's a learning experience. Laugh at yourself, have a good time. You might meet your best friend. You never know. Really start to foster your independence. Self-advocate, know who your supports are, be comfortable reaching out to your teachers for help. If you feel nervous talking to them in person, send them emails. You know, we hear a lot from students saying, I don't want to ask for help in classes because I don't want my classmates to think that I'm stupid, or I don't want my teacher to think that I'm stupid. The only one that's thinking that they're stupid in that moment is you. Nobody cares. They're not judging you. You need to ask for help if you need it. So overcome your fears around that. Again, send emails to teachers. If you're scared or you need help, you know, and you don't know what to do, reach out to your guidance counselors. We're here. We're happy to help and give you some guidance as well. So don't be scared to reach out if you need help around academics, life, school, whatever. You have plenty of people who can help you, and we're happy to do so.
Okie dokie. So next steps, again, we have webinars. So for you students, January 26th, 9:15 to 9:45. For parents, that same day, 5 to 6. Again, I don't think we can say enough how making informed decisions is the key to this course selection thing that you're doing right now. So like Ms. Kasha was saying, like reaching out to your teachers, asking for help, that's just so important so that you can have the right schedule, so you can do everything like Mr. Stiver was saying, so that you can have the high school experience that you would like to have next year. Again, elective night Q&A, February 2nd, 5 to 6. You're gonna turn in that K-12 course selection form March 5th. And again, this year, you also need to do the Infinite Campus Portal course selection form, which is due the same day, March 5th. That's our presentation. We really thank you all for taking the time to watch it. We're excited to answer your questions. So please do come to our webinar. We'll be so excited to see you.
We'll see you next
Definitely.
Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.